So we almost escaped summer without seeing any sort of triple digit weather, but unfortunately, the weather has different plans for the Willamette Valley, and a major heat wave is almost certain at this point. So this will be my first video in a short series of videos going through what's going to be happening over the next couple of days. First off, as always, the National Weather Service watches and warnings. From Sunday at 11 a.m. to Tuesday at 10 p.m., an excessive heat warning is in effect for all areas in the Willamette Valley plus the southern half of the Coast Range, while a excessive heat watch is in effect for the same time period in the Columbia River Gorge, the Columbia Basin, and the northern Coast Range. In addition, a fire weather watch is in effect for the northern Willamette Valley, and a red flag warning is in effect for the southern Willamette Valley and foothills of the Cascade and Coast Ranges for both from Sunday at 2 p.m. to at least Monday at 8 p.m. I do anticipate, based on the conditions I'm forecasting, that will be extended to at least Tuesday. So, what is a definition of a major heat wave in my book? Also, I should mention that these definitions are what tend to trigger me creating these forecast videos. So any day that I'm anticipating would be at 105 degrees or higher, or at least have the potential to see temperatures of that intensity or higher. Typically we see these temperatures about once every 10 years. Seeing these twice in a decade isn't unprecedented, but it is rare, with the only other decade that I could find seeing a temperature of this intensity occurring was the 1980s in Portland. 3 days or more of 100 degrees I also consider a major heat wave, or I take it on a case-by-case basis if there's an extended period above 90 degrees, depending on the length and also when does it occur in the season. So the setup for this heat wave, it's actually not the setup that would cause the hottest temperatures, but it is a setup that causes hot temperatures, but some areas will see relief going into the middle part of next week, at least during the overnight hours. So a high pressure system will be set up off the coast of British Columbia, not too far off the coast. This is close enough where our winds will be coming in off the Cascades, probably from either the northeast or the east, depending on location, with areas closer to Portland receiving more easterly winds and areas further south in the Willamette Valley either north or northeasterly. Going throughout the week as we move on to Tuesday or Wednesday, this high pressure system will move further to the west. So I'll use green to denote that different high pressure system for these other forecast notes. And that, while it will not cool Portland off a whole lot, it will cool areas further to the west along the Coast Range gaps more, as colder marine air will start to filter in during the overnight hours only. During the daytimes, I'm not anticipating as much relief, but you'll see more relief than areas in the Portland metro area. So moving on to my forecast notes, I do anticipate that there is going to be some winds, mainly from the northeast, as I mentioned in the previous slide, between 15 and 25 miles per hour, especially on Sunday and Monday. This does increase the fire danger, hence the fire weather watches and warnings. On Tuesday and beyond, I anticipate that for certain areas only, that there will be some weak onshore flow. I think most likely this will be westerly winds in the late afternoon or evening time frames. The areas most likely to see this are areas near the Coast Range gaps. So Corvallis, Sheridan, McMinnville, and Bonita are the areas that most commonly see a pattern like this. I do think Monday is the hottest day. It's also the most uncertain day of the days that I have in my forecast, where the probable range for Portland, I'm anticipating anywhere between 104 and 108, with my best estimate being 104 degrees for Portland. And for Corvallis, I'm seeing anywhere from 103 to 110 degrees, with my best estimate being 107 degrees. As a side note, for Corvallis, the all-time hottest temperature for August is 108 degrees. That is within the margin of error, so it is possible that Corvallis breaks its all-time in August temperature in this heat wave, though I'm not anticipating that at this time. The one saving grace about this heat wave is that it is going to be a pretty dry heat because of the offshore flow. Humidity will be between 15 and 30%. Now, as a caveat, if you are outside, dehydration does occur quicker because you are sweating more quickly, and that sweat does evaporate. But I do anticipate that if you are near the Coast Range gaps in the areas receiving these westerly winds, the humidity will go up in those areas, but I don't anticipate it being overly humid, probably not exceeding 45% at the high end. I'm also anticipating pretty warm low temperatures, somewhere around 70 degrees or a little bit warmer in many areas. So moving on to the 7-day forecast as a result, I am anticipating 88 degrees on Saturday as the last cool day for the foreseeable future, also the last day with clouds for the foreseeable future, and then 3 days in a row of triple digits, with Sunday at 100 degrees, Monday at 104, and Tuesday at 103, with lows in the 70s on each of those 3 evenings. On Wednesday and Thursday, I'm anticipating temperatures are a coin toss whether or not they'll hit 100, though my best estimate right now is showing 99 degrees. On Friday, I do think that there'll be finally some relief, with Friday morning starting off in the low 60s and warming up to only 90 degrees. As a side note, anything in red is a daily record hot temperature for either a high temperature or a low temperature down below. I also don't anticipate any chance of rain or lingering thunderstorms during the next week. For Corvallis or for locations in the southern Willamette Valley, I do anticipate to begin this heat wave, you will start warmer than the Portland metro area. I consider the dividing line to be right around Salem. So if you're from Salem southward, use the Corvallis forecast for determining your temperatures. If you're north of Salem, use the Portland forecast. So starting on Sunday, I do anticipate you'll get into the 100 degrees with 101 degrees. On Monday, 107 degrees. It's gonna be hot. On Tuesday, I do think it'll cool off quicker, 101 degrees for Corvallis. And then on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, on Wednesday and Thursday at least, I'm anticipating in mid-90s, partially because of the offshore flow kicking in. Areas further east into the valley, like Staten and Lebanon, I do think will be closer to 100 degrees. On Friday, I do think most areas south of Salem don't reach 90 degrees at this time. And also because of those westerly winds, the lows will be much more comfortable in the low 60s, even dropping into the upper 30s Thursday night into Friday. Now, that is going to be it for this video. It is a goal of mine to at least Monday evening, possibly Tuesday evening, that I will try to come out with daily videos. I am not going to guarantee it except for tomorrow night. Tomorrow night I will have a little bit of a special featurette on the specific microclimates that will affect this heat wave, going into further detail on these onshore winds, plus what the ocean has to do with bringing these low temperatures higher. So look forward to that tomorrow, in addition to the usual updates. As a side note, except for tomorrow's video, these videos will probably come out pretty late. They'll drop, for those who are subscribed, they'll drop into your notifications probably around 2 a.m. every morning. So just an FYI for that you'll likely not be watching these until you wake up. That is it for my plan for this coming days. So please stay safe and stay cool out there, and take care.